Like most comics from the 90s, the existence of Venom is largely because he has a fully sick design. Any bits of character? Not really. He's just the alien monster that eats things with his big scary mouth. What else is there? That's what the film tries to sort out. Eddie Brock's comic origin is that he really hates Spider-Man, so much so he gets given powers to hate him even more. The film, for contractual reasons, can't actually mention Spider-Man, so they're forced to give him another origin. This creative boundary is for the best, as it actually examines the idea. Can a character based purely on hate really be that interesting to watch? It turns out it can be if it's playing up the human-host relationship. Our human is Tom Hardy, who plays a skittish, overwhelmed hero quite well. He plays up how bizarre this whole situation really is, with him getting scared by a deep, menacing voice telling him they're both gonna eat people. But it turns out you can treat this monster like a dog. They're an animal deep down, so you can't really blame them for their nature. Tom Hardy gently persuades Venom to be an ethical consumer, only eating bad people. This insane setup is played as kind of a pantomime with a back and forth between Eddie and Venom being actually quite interesting. A lovely little detail is the idea that Venom is part of a conquering race, but because of his status being a quote-unquote loser, he decides to be the god of the insects rather than the smallest tall guy in the room. His ridiculous objectives in eating and ripping apart people kind of plays into his rhetoric of being a posturing dweeb, perhaps too mesmerised how he can beat kids half his age at the school track race. We also have a shadowy corporation who is just as maniacally evil as the alien conquerors. It takes half a second convincing for the CEO to turn from a corporate pig to aspiring dictator god. This simplicity also sneaks into some of the setups as well. Venom being a host can jump from human to human, so logically it means if he attaches himself to a girl, he becomes thick Venom with TNA. This teenage ludicrosity is actually bizarrely consistent, with the ending basically being a child incoherently smashing two action figures together. This action scene is almost incomprehensible, with streams of CG goo and gunk entirely covering the screen. The ending also wonderfully contradicts itself, with Venom telling us early on in the film that fire and sound are its two biggest weaknesses. Then consequently gets caught up midway through a 140 decibel rocket launch that then explodes and catches fire. But he's fine because he landed in water, so he's back to being a lovable rogue that then, surprise, will verse an even more baddie version of himself that has blades for hands, and is motorcycle red because he's the evil one. This childlike simplicity was kind of charming, mainly due to Tom Hardy doubling down on the silliness. 6 out of 10. I also have a podcast in which I have discussed the political news stories of today. Thank you for hopefully watching.